All right, my phone was just stolen by Mo and Tim. We're doing a reaction video. One, I don't watch many videos at all, actually any. So it's funny, on Instagram and Twitter, follow us there, by the way, people will send me videos going, I know you don't watch videos, but could you watch this? No, I don't watch videos. With that said, this is a reaction video, and I do watch them for this purpose. I'm told that I'm not gonna be very happy watching this video, so they took my phone just to key it up, so I don't have to key it up or tee it up, whatever it is. Tee it up, because like T-ball.
Or golf tee.
Golf tee? Yeah. Is that what it's for?
Putting it on a tee.
Let's just edit that whole part out.
I like it.
All right, so we're gonna press play, and we'll see what this has to happen.
All right.
CEO greed destroyed our economy.
So what are you taking a look at?
Well, once upon a time, America was a land where it genuinely seemed like a rising tide could lift all boats. When American corporations thrived, they were able to invest in their workforce, creating a stable middle class, and they were able to invest in innovation, which created dynamism and more thriving in a virtuous circle. In that time, business leaders and politicians, they had healthy debates about exactly who corporations were meant to serve, the nation, the community, their shareholders, their workers. But pretty much no one took the view that they should be run by the executive class for the sole benefit of the executive class. Today, however, this perverse conception of corporations is destroying the health and vitality of our entire economy, creating bubbles based on fakery, robbing employees of fair compensation for their labor. In fact, new numbers underscore just how extreme and radical this modern form of corporation has actually become. Take a look at this. This is from Ralph Nader. He says, stunning figure.
Ralph Nader.
The White House's National Economic Council reports that major corporations are spending about 90% of their earnings on stock buybacks and dividends. 90%. What's left for investment? Not much, unless these corporations are taking on debt, he says. Now, stock buybacks are exactly what they sound like. It's when a corporation buys back their own stock. It has the predictable impact of at least temporarily goosing that company's stock price. So, rather than investing in innovation,
actually not temporarily, but that's
workforce,
okay.
Our largest companies are all funneling almost all of their cash right now into the pockets of wealthy shareholders and, critically, their own executives who derive most of their compensation from their stock holdings. It is a blatant CEO money grab. Now, I know the discussion on stock buybacks, it can sound kind of wonky, but it is hard to overstate just what a damaging effect their near takeover of the marketplace has had on our entire nation. First of all, these stock buybacks make the stock market completely fake. In fact, they were deemed illegal market manipulation repeatedly in 1967.
Whoa! I can't believe I lasted a minute 55 on this thing.
Tim's over there rolling. This lady's incredible.
So I will quote our good friend Warren Buffett that those who do not understand the whole purpose of stock buybacks are financially illiterate. I mean, it's just absolutely the case.
This lady is
to sit there and say, and by the way, Ralph Nader, who are you going to quote next? Bernie Sanders?
Yeah. Talk about reaching.
This is, guys, one, I don't like corporations either. I do think these corporate executives think they're business people and they're not business people. They're idiots. I see the way they allocate their capital. Most stock buybacks are dumb stock buybacks. I will give them that. But to say it's greed and all that, fine, say it's greed, but guess what? Those rich shareholders, they're mutual fund holders, they're ETF holders, they're you. They're average people.
Yes.
The vast majority of it is average people. Warren Buffett's worth $100 billion. The entire stock market in the US is $30-some trillion.
One of the biggest arguments I got in when I was tweeting was about stock buybacks. And they were like, it's for rich, greedy people. I was like, but what about the normal people that own the shares?
First off, but go back to it. Like, how is that for rich, greedy people?
Know.
First off, guys,
I don't get the argument.
You don't want your company reinvesting if there aren't good reinvestment opportunities.
That's the problem with CEO capital allocation.
That's exactly the problem with CEO capital allocation. I have a complete beef with that, but it has nothing to do with corporate greed. It's just them being stupid.
They're bad.
They're just dumb, just like everybody else in this world.
They try to look busy.
When they're saying a rising tide raises all ships, do me a favor. Go look at the history of poor people in the world and in this country. Guys, I was born in Iraq, most from Egypt. If you go to Iraq and you see two people, you will be able to tell who is richer like that. In the US, if I go to a mall, it's hard sometimes going, okay, do I look rich like this? No. In fact, my fiance always jokes with me, and like at night when we're getting, she goes, you're really gonna wear that? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what the hell? I'm like, listen, this is what I enjoy. You can't tell in this country a lot of times. When the poor have cell phones, microwaves, computers, cars, all these things, Please don't tell me that the rising tide has not raised all ships. Yep. You are absolutely asinine. Second thing, they always sit there and say they're making money off the backs of workers. So you're telling me workers are making money. And to say they're not making a fair wage, what's a fair wage?
Yeah, where do we draw the line? And also, when's the last time that you worked for
a poor person?
A broke person?
Yes.
Ever.
Tell me here who works for a poor person. And I'll tell you right now, you're not gonna have a job very long then.
Nope.
Because they're probably running a bad business.
Exactly.
That's, guys, this class warfare stuff. And we do this a lot on this channel because it really does bother me. When people say a fair wage, guess what? We double everybody's pay tomorrow. You know what this person's gonna be saying now? Oh my God, these costs are too high. Walmart's terrible. They always complain. Walmart runs out the local mom and pop shop. Yeah, and they make it possible for poor families to buy more stuff.
Yep. This phone goes from $1,200 to $1,500.
Maybe higher.
Whatever it is. And then you're saying, well, now Apple charges too much. But now you want $30 an hour for this person that is not worth even close to $30 an hour.
Guys, I'm gonna make a very controversial statement here. The people in my company who make less money leave their work and they go home. As they make more money in this company, I get texts at night from fear. I get texts at night from here's this idea. I get texts on the weekend. They are working 24/7. So when I hear people say like, oh, the CEO for the same, I was watching The Office and Daryl's sitting there going like, you and I work the same number of hours, Michael, you make a lot less. I'm like, well, yeah, then go get Michael's job.
Yep.
Go do it.
So it's funny you say that.
It's funny, I'm quoting The Office for this political discussion.
I had a plumber at my house yesterday.
Yeah.
And he owns his own business. And he's going to be moving out of state. And
this guy. I know him.
And he's going to go work for somebody. And he's like, honestly, I'm really excited about this. Yes, I'm going to make a little less money, but I don't have to take this job home with me.
That's it.
He's like, I'm happy about
The one time I had a job, a real job out of college, forget about all the college jobs, because when you're in college, you're a waiter, like literally go there, whatever. Out of college, I went home, nothing occurred to me. Yep. Now it's constant. By the way, I enjoy it still. I'm compensated, but don't tell me I'm compensated unfairly. Look at this channel right here. This channel right here cost me $250,000 in losses before I made $1 in revenue. You better believe I'm gonna make a lot of money on this channel. And when people text me and go, message me on Instagram and Twitter, go, man, you have all this money, you're charging me for software? Yeah, I created a product and service. If you don't want it, don't buy it. I don't care. But if you want it, you gotta pay me for it because it costs me money. I have 5 to 7 developers on this company, another company of mine, working full time. I need to make money off that. And I spent $250,000 before I ever made $1 in revenue. Forget about profit, revenue. It took me a couple $100,000 more before I even made profit. And now am I making my money? I've made my money back now. And guess what? I should, because there's other businesses you haven't heard about that I've invested upwards of 7 figures into that went to zero. Whenever we have a business that doesn't work, I always joke with like the warehouse guy and go, you made more money in this business than I did. Yep. I should make a lot of money if I take risks. Yep. If you don't take risks, you should not make a lot of money. I don't want to hear it. Stop with it. It's not, me making more doesn't mean you are less of a person and you are less of, stop it.
Exactly.
Stop it.
If you're an employee and you leave for the day and you don't have to think about anything, you should not make as much as the person that's doing it 24/7, 365.
You know how much you should make? Exactly what you're being paid.
Yep.
Because if you think you deserve more, go get another job.
And I'll tell you what, you start paying them at the top less, guess what? They don't have the incentive to work harder and make more money, and guess what happens to your money? It starts to trickle down because he ain't gonna pay you, because he's not making it.
If the government came now and said, Paul, you can only make X amount of dollars in your channel, I'd be like, well, I'm not doing it then. Why?
Exactly right.
Why do the work? Why would I ever do the work? So now, how many people just lost their jobs? He just lost his job, he just lost his job, Mo just lost his job, granted he's rich, who cares? But we have a bunch of developers and all these people. 10 people just lost their jobs. Yes. Why? Because you guys sat there and said, it's not fair that Paul makes a lot. Well, when I make a lot, guess what we do?
You employ more.
I employ more people and I pay more. You're telling me that 10 years from now, we have 50 times the revenue, I'm gonna have the same staff here? No. We're gonna have way more. Way more. If you don't get this, I'm gonna say this right now. If you don't believe this, you should not be investing in stocks because you don't deserve to make money. You absolutely do not deserve to make money. You're a horrible person, absolutely terrible. Go move to some socialist regime. Please go. And you'll see very quickly how you think you're a hard worker and you will not appreciate that in the future. Because every hard worker I know out there, when they sit there and talk about these socialists, her idea right there, if you told her right now, we're gonna pay you the same pay as the janitor, she'd be like, but wait, I'm on TV. She is lying, she's a hypocrite.
We go to a local Asian restaurant. And this guy, he's like, I like China more, but I like being in this country because I get days off. I get vacations. He was working 6.5 days a week in China. And he said, if I would go in to ask for a vacation day, he would be like, sure, take your vacation and stay there. Don't come back.
Yeah.
Because there's the next man up to replace him.
You're all spoiled, not you guys, but everybody who believes what she said is a spoiled brat. And I guarantee you, she's arguing every single day for more and more money. When she talks to her agent, get me more money. I don't see her making the same amount of money as the janitor. When she does that, I will believe it. Just like Bernie Sanders can go himself because he criticizes people who have money and he's a millionaire. And when they asked him how, well, just write a best-selling book and you'll be rich like me.
Also, he is selling tickets right now for an anti-capitalism speech rally, and he's charging you $100 to go to that thing.
Just like AOC with a $30,000 dress at the Met Gala.
To charity, though, right?
Oh, God. Why do we always do these videos? This was requested by Nick. Nick, you're fired.
And it's not because of decreasing revenue.
God. All right. Well, I'm not going to watch any more of this video.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. 2 minutes is enough for me.
Did you get through the whole thing, Nick? Good
Nick, does she defend it at all, or is she completely just, is it she's just giving some side of the angle, or is it just completely? It's a bad take. It's a bad take. All right. Well, if anybody knows her, please tell her I said go after yourself. And let me know when you're being paid the same as a janitor or you're sharing your pay with the janitor in your company, because I guarantee you're not doing that. And if ESPN or CNN or CNBC offered you $10 million a year tomorrow to work, you would take it in half a second because you are a hypocrite.
And she's probably the one that probably wants higher taxes. You can put it on your tax form. It's coming up. It's almost April 15th, so you can send
more money.
More taxes.
Send more money.
You got it. Well, there you go. Have fun.